It was a heavy gang, John.
I didn't do it.
You'll do well here.
Car.
ASCF, the Australian Modified Production title, of course sponsored by the Murray Valley Standard. I'll call them in for you. Phil Mikulev on the inside, Bill Orish on the outside. Do we get a clean start? Certainly do. Green for go. This is the first of a lot of torrid heats, Lee, and those cars going fairly high, but finding fairly good racing line, 3 wide down the back chute. That is what we're going to see during this championship.
Have a look at Horson on the inside though. He's got the run out of turn number 4. Driver of car number 72 for Warburton's Discount Butchers. He is your race leader. Car number 61 slots into second now, cuts back on the inside as they race down the back chute. Door handle they do. And we have a look at your race leader, but Horson on the inside once again takes over the race lead. Driver of car number 48, David Plekas though, he's been the big mover and groover. He started from position number 8. He is aboard the car number 48, of course, from Bunbury in Western Australia, and the 1988 Holden Commodore. Have a look at that. He looks on the inside of our race leader, Horson. Can't make the pass at the moment, but certainly he is charging him down as they run through 1 and 2. So the second place Ryan Plekas is right on the rear bumper. The battle for third, fourth and fifth is starting to heat up. And at the moment it's Phil Mikulev who has got the better of that battle, but JT Martin Horson out in front. He is under severe pressure at the moment.
Severe pressure is not the words for it. They're getting tangled up in between turn 1 and 2, but sort themselves out. In fact, the field is just a little more tidy at this stage. As they come around the start-finish line, you've got to find there's exactly 7 laps to go. The man making a better meal of this is car 72 in Martin Horson, being challenged once again behind him by car 48. Dave Plekas started position 8, so that's a fairly good view at the moment as he sweeps around trying to get some drive on about that mid-line. That's a long way around, 6 to go.
Plekas has realised if he's going to get past, he's going to have to go the long way around, try and get the momentum up on the Riverview Speedway. They race down the back chute, past the Murray Valley Standard sign. Have a look how deep Plekas goes into turn number 3 and 4 on the high side of Horson. They run along the main straight, side by side as they do, and the Bunbury pilot out in front. Can he hold it down the back straight away? A great move there from the Bunbury pilot in Plekas. Here's your new race leader. Horson dropped back into second and Mikulev back into third, but your race leader after starting from position number 8, one for the Holden fans at the moment, Dave Plekas. He just ran on the outside of Horson. He had a few looks on the inside.
Got a yellow light. There's a piece of car, a bumper bar, I think, resting there in turn 4. Everybody missing it. Of course, that can be dangerous if it's picked up by these vehicles. And
from Bunbury in Western Australia, looks to go green. We're green and racing as Plekas, Horson. There we go, Mikulev. And the number 7 car in there is Justin Drew from Avalon in Victoria, holding out in 4th position at the moment. But the man they're all chasing, driver of car number 48 in Dave Plekas, supported by 5 class and resident sales, Peter Harvey.
Car 7, Justin Drew has done a 360 pirouette down in turn 4. I don't think it...
Yep.
All the team there, all the great team. Let's have a restart on this. We do have green for go. 3 laps.
There's 3 laps left remaining, and the 48 car of Plekas is your race leader, but he's coming on some heavy fire as they run down the back chute. Horson looking for a way past, looking to take revenge. He led the early running. We've got a protest flag just about to go out to one of the drivers, saying I've been just a little bit of a naughty boy, but have a look at the battle for third between the 51 Machinist Spears and also our poster of Mikulev. But we'll have a look at that. Horson on the inside takes a good look on the inside of Plekas. 1 circulation left remaining. Horson on the inside, Plekas on the outside. They race along the main chute, side by side as they do. Horson, your new race leader from Mildura in Victoria. Simon, another Mildurian, pulls onto the inside. As we have a look at Plekas, has a big look on the inside of Horson, cannot make the pass, so the race victory will go to Martin Horson. He'll take the win. Dave Plekas for second in the 48 car. And then behind was the, I believe it was the number 51 machine of Jim Spears.
Program once again, 12 laps for the Murray Valley Standard. This is Australian Modified Production title.
Yes, Person lead them in. Perkins on his outside. Jackson puts his nose in there as well. 3 wide exiting turn 2. They rub wheels. Does Jackson and also Perkins and in there was Brady as well, but Jackson moves into second spot. They're all chasing Purser as they cross the stripe for the first time. It's Purser, then comes Travis Jackson, followed by the number 3 car of Rod Brady. Then we go back to Perkins. Also, when there's a 66 car of Brendan Higgs, another one of the local drivers, just being passed by the reigning champion Gary Brown. Bit of smoke back there for Terry Brown. He did have some problems last night. Looks like they are reoccurring for him at the moment. But they're all out in front. The number 91 of John Purser. He aboard the VR Commodore.
I tell you what, Lee, what's going to be interesting here, have a look at that beautiful yellow car in 37, the Mazda RX-7, Travis Jackson, just trying to get down and get dirty, you might say, with our leader at the moment as they sweep through turn 3 into 4, trying to get a pole line there, and just enough momentum to take that and make it stick. That's where the main action is. 1 and 2 have opened up almost a quarter of a lap on the third place getter at the moment, Rod Brady in car 3.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the sharp end of this. Can we ask whether Travis Jackson can take our pole sitter at the moment?
Yeah, see if we get past Purser. Purser holding strong at the moment aboard his Commodore. But for those Rotary fans out there, cheer him home in the second place of Jackson. Just on half race distance as we speak. It's Holden versus Mazda at the front. Then we go back to the number 3 car of Brady, another Commodore there in third place under heavy fire from the VR Commodore, the current Australian champion of Gary Brown. Down the back straight we watch 1 and 2 at the moment. We see Bronte Perkins just pull onto the infield. Brown about to do very similar, I'd suggest, to the number 9 car. Now we cast our eyes through turn 1 right at the moment. Brown on the inside of Brady. The current Australian champion takes over the third place running at the moment. So he moves up to the third after starting down in the pack of starting out of position number 8, but the leader's starting to come on the lap traffic in the way of John Krieg at the moment. Can Krieg stay out of the leader's way as they come down the pack chute, JT? Action plenty here between Purser and Jackson at the front of the pack.
Absolutely, got past that lapped traffic fairly easily, and I think they're going to make an impression now. This is where the interest is as they sweep through 1. Can that Mazda get it down and get it done down the back chute underneath the Coca-Cola sign? There's going to be 2 laps to go as they come past the start-finish line this time around. Just can't seem to get the momentum. It's got the inside running, but that car 91, John Purser from Western Australia, has it all his own way just at the moment. More lap traffic lead down the back. This is looking interesting.
Well, Jackson on the inside now. He'll have to watch this lap traffic coming up. Purser on the outside. He goes the outside of the lap traffic. Jackson to the inside of Gold Kitty as they go along the main straightaway. Purser in the 91 machine. He is all the way from Western Australia, as is Jackson down the back chute. We've got the checker flag coming out this time around. Purser looks so he'll be able to hold on as they exit turn number 4. A great run there for John Purser. Under pressure the entire distance from the 37 car of Travis Jackson from Cameravon in Western Australia. And Gary Brown comes home in third place. Behind that, I'll leave to the lap scorers because I was watching the first 2. Can definitely tell.
To go, we should have a green flag this time around. It is officially event 3. It is heat 3. It is for the Murray Valley Standard. It is Australian Modified Production title.
Yes, we have a look at Tanya Smith on the outside and Mark Carl on the inside. Smith looks to have the upper hand at the moment as they race down the back chute. Nose to tail as they do. Watch for the 21 car of Greg Whirling to manoeuvre his way through, as will Ben Element from the back of the pack, the West Australian. They race along the main chute. Smith is benefiting from these guys battling behind them. Driver of car number 71 from Bunbury in Western Australia, Go You 14. The XC Falcon there in second place at the moment, charging his way through. But here comes Greg Whirling. We mentioned him, the 94 VR Commodore from Lismore in New South Wales. Northern New South Wales, yellow lights are on. Debris on the racetrack.
And we're not talking about the official in the yellow shirt, by the way. His front left panel has been very naughty in not holding on.
Because he was deemed the cause of stoppage. His body part is, panel is on the main straight. Tanya Smith leads them in for Kibbles Cafe and Casino, your race leader. Have a look at Element right in behind her, but also Greg Whirling and the 47 car. Is it the 47 is trying to pick that car up as they race along the back chute? Could be Gavin Fletcher in the 42, I should say, in the TF Cortina. On the inside of Whirling, takes over third place only momentarily as he has to hit the brakes very subtly and through turn number 1. That drops him right off the rear and back into 4th place and under pressure from David Jacoby, I should say, as they race through turn number 1. Tadia Smith leading the way, still Element for second. Looking on the inside for the Ford Dealer Racing team in the Falcon. Has a big look on the inside of Smith, but Smith holding very strong there on the pole line at the moment.
Absolutely, I shouldn't say this, but a good clean race at the moment, and plenty of competition out there. He wouldn't throw a hanky over them, but certainly it's not done and dusted yet. Have a look at this at the moment. Ben Element out after Tanya Smith, right up against the boot line as we speak, ready to pounce if she should make any mistake as they go down the back chute under the Murray Bridge Auto Parts sign.
Any mistake by Tanya Smith for Kibbles of Casino, and Ben Element in the Ford Falcon will be there ready to pound. Smith driving a very, very consistent line there, just holding the inside line, holding the pole line. If Element's going to get around, he's going to have to go to the outside. We've seen it happen in the opening heat with Dave Plekas. He ran on the high side of Horson. Now, can the 71 car of Ben Element make a pass there? The current Western Australia champion. He's looked to the inside 3 or 4 times. He's going to make the pass. He's going to have to take the challenge to go up to the high side. But bearing in mind, Greg Whirling is right there behind him, and a couple of cars just in there as well. One in particular, 42 of Gavin Fletcher, is right there, and also the 98 of Michael Halley from Caboolture in Queensland. As they race along the back chute past the Murray Office Equippers sign and into turn number 3. You see Whirling's up a little high at the moment, and that has benefited the number 42 car of Gavin Fletcher. The Cortina now moves into 3rd. But a great move there for the 98 of Michael Halley. Moves into 4th place, but at the moment, JT, it's all Tanya Smith out in front as we've got a spinner in through turn 3 and 4. Of Gavin Fletcher.
Oh.
Just as the white flag was about to come out, nose to tail, for what will be a 2-lap restart. So a 2-lap restart coming our way. Still have a look at the straight. They know they're going to go green this time around. Smith has got 2 perfect circulations if she's going to hold on to this one. They come onto the main chute here at the Review Speedway, 360 metres in circumference. Smith on the inside, as also on the inside is the 71 car in there of Ben Element. Shane Best, the local driver, pulls to the infield. 1 circulation remaining. Smith has led from the green flag. Can she hold on? She's got 1 more lap remaining. Down the back straight past the Murray Sale sign. It's Smith, Element, then comes the 42 car of Gavin Fletcher. At the moment, it's the Commodore of Tanya Smith holding strong. 1 for the girls, 1 for the Commodores. And put your hands together, folks, for Tanya Smith. She started on the outside front row. Got the lead through the opening turn. She will take the win. Second will go to the 71 of Ben Element.
Leading them in, we've got 7 contestants in this event, 4 on the program. Let's have a look. Leading them in, Fiona Verhoeven.
Verhoeven gets the jump into turn number 1 aboard the Autobahn machine, the bright pink machine. Is raced down the back chute. We've got 1 driver out. The 62 of Gavin Cately is out of the event, but leading the way aboard the XF Falcon from the Premier Speedway in Victoria. And it is Fiona Verhoeven. She is the race leader, but have a look at the 55 car driven by Peter Lack. He is supported by the Withcott Seedlings team, Castro, Toowoomba, Holden, you name it. They've got a whole heap of sponsors on board. Very professional outfit, and you can see why he is now your race leader. Down the back chute, the number 55 car, the VX Commodore. So a 2002 model Commodore out in front. Showing the way around this 360 metre Review Speedway. Verhoeven slots back into 2nd position. 3rd now is the 77 of Neil Howard. Howard, of course, is one of the local drivers here aboard his XR6 Falcon, supported by Bridge Exhaust and Trailer Services, holding down 3rd position. Then 4th goes back to the 10 car of Tony McKenzie. And from the Riverland, Martin Rams looks like it could have some problems with the right rear suspension in that car, certainly laying over back there in 5th position.
I tell you what, Lee, this may only be a guess, but I would suggest that Peter Lack and that VX Commodore could be up as a very serious contender for the Australian Championship tomorrow night. Have a look at the lead. We're talking about a quarter of lap back to Fiona Verhoeven, and then probably almost a half a lap back to our third place getter at the moment in car 77 in Neil Howard. I mean, in this form of racing, that is an absolute country mile that car 55 Peter Lack is setting up out there.
Of course, Peter Lack finished second in the Australian title last year after qualifying in 5th, and took pole position after in the pole shuffle. Of course, tomorrow we'll have the 20-car pole shuffle tomorrow night. So Peter Lack, no stranger, also finished second and third in the New South Wales Victorian titles respectively already this year. Car is built by the Withcott Seating team, and certainly they, as I've said, a very professional outfit here for the modified sedans, and he is showing them the rewards that could come to them tomorrow evening here in the ASCF Australian Modified Production title, brought to you by Murray Valley Standard. Not forgetting second place though at the moment, Fiona Verhoeven in the Autobahn Falcon, racing down the back chute past the Power FM sign. She is at the moment, and certainly after starting on pole position, has just driven a clean race. Points is what counts. 5 rounds of heats, you can drop your worst round, but certainly this modified sedan action is going to be thick and fast over the next 2 nights of action.
Not a problem. Let's have a look at this. We've got the white flag out for an absolutely beautiful display by Peter Lack. He's coming up against the lap traffic. That's not going to worry him at all. It's going to be the checkered flag next time around. We are talking almost half a lap, and that is one hell of a distance. Beautiful race. Hands together, please, for a man who's going to put a big stamp on this Australian Championship. Car 76 just coming past in Fiona Verhoeven, and behind them car 77 Neil Howard. Taking out 4th position as we see it is car number 8, of course, Martin Rams.
Is there in position number 4 at the moment. They will get the green light next time around. It is going to be a sensational race, this one. Watch for Jason Jolly to make his moves from the back of the pack. The number 2 VR Commodore, 4 wide as they go along the main chute. Yellow lights are already on. We'll have a restart. Jolly, he made a great start, but the green lights are out as the dart. No, not the dart, but it is the dart. The dart's on pole.
Manstead will be so far past the dart so quickly, I think you'll find it's not funny. Let's have a look at this green flag.
There we have it. You're right on cue, Manstead in his AU Falcon. So the Ford fans rejoice. Our Falcon leads the way. Have a look on the high side of Neil Watson. He is looking on the white side of the dart, but Jason Jolly almost spins out of contention. He just gets back on the racetrack, but albeit in the last position, right at the back of the bus for Jolly, aboard his VR Commodore supported by McRae Constructions. Race leader is the 65 machine as Watson gets all out of shape coming out of turn number 4. As I was saying, race loser AU Falcon from Esperance in Western Australia. None other than Neville Manstead. The dart doing a great job in second place at the moment. Everyone else is battling.
Whoa, someone is battling more than others.
That was the
T-Bone.
14 of Ross Madden, who be the 61 car. 65 I should say, of Neville Manstead, the AU Falcon. We're green, but we did go a couple wide coming out of turn number 4. One there was, in particular, the XE Falcon, so it's Ford 1 and 2, and 3 at the moment is Neil Watson, the VS Commodore supported by Horsham Auto Wreckers. We're green again and racing, and Watson makes a great start to move into second position. But have a look at Jason Jolly on the inside. He's got that Commodore hooked up and hauling from Lismore in New South Wales. He's gone to the back of the bus once. Now he's come back again to be right on the rear bumper of our race leader. And the 65 car of Manstead. Manstead, your race leader. Jolly for second. Watson for third. Dart for fourth. But the battle is on in earnest for the race lead between Jolly and Manstead. Out of turn number 4 they drive. Manstead on the high side. Holden versus Ford at the front. The old Australian battle at the moment. The General is leading the way with a VR Commodore at the hands of Jason Jolly.
Absolutely. Jason Jolly looked as though he had wound up the rubber band. He let it go in turn 2, shot down the back straight, and is out in front at the moment with exactly 6.5 laps to go. 6.5 as they come down the back. Car 65, Neville Manstead after him, but a great display. He's got to look over that bent bonnet, and then car 34 also making some pretty impressive ground out there. And Neil Watson got a great restart as well, trying to get up to Manstead, make some sort of manoeuvre, getting some territory out there as they come past the start-finish line. There are exactly 5 laps to go in Heat 5.
Yeah, so over half race distance now. Your race leader is Jason Jolly from McRae Constructions, Farmer Charlie's and Lismore Car Bits. So he exits turn number 4. Track getting a little bit slick out there at the moment. You got to have these drivers got to watch themselves. Don't put the power on too early, otherwise they'll end up spinning out. You can see the dust just coming up as they exit turn number 2. The first 3 in Jolly, Manstead and also Watson. And problems over there on the back straight for Craig Swanson from Ballarat. He pulls to the infield. His race is done and dusted. The good thing about this format, though, there's 5 qualifying heats per driver, and they can drop their worst heat. So even if you have a DNF, it's not the end of your title. You can still come back and have a good finish in the other 4, as we've got 2 laps left remaining.
Okay, watch the old voice, mate. It's catching here. Let's have a look at this down the back, and certainly hasn't put a foot wrong after that restart. Coming through, we've got this time around the white flag, beautifully done for car number 2 out there. Jason Jolly trying to play catch up at the moment is Neville Manstead down the back. Just have a look at that style, sweeping nice and high, tucking down on around about just over the midline, not quite down on pole as the checkered flag comes out for that McRae car in car 2. Jason Jolly, Manstead, Neville behind him, and then car 34, Neil Watson, as we saw them across the line, and the rest is still coming. That's how far back.
Yeah, great run there from the number 2 car of Jason Jolly all the way.
With event 6 on the program, Anthony Wilson bringing them in. Ron Watts also on the front line there, waiting for the green flag. This is it. This is event 6 on the program. Have a look at that jump from car 5. Anthony Wilson taking advantage of the pole line for the Thrifty group as he sweeps down the back chute. I tell you what, this is a very, very close race. You could throw that proverbial hanky over about the first 5, 6, 7 of them. Car 73 behind all of them in Brian Galley trying to get down on the pole line, but everybody's getting plenty of drive. The high line down on the cement line as they sweep through into turn 3. There will be exactly 10 laps to go. No, there won't. There will be a T-bone collision or 2 or 3.
We're about to go green again for the complete restart, and the number 5 of Wilson lead them in. On his outside is Ron Watts in the 54 car from Leeton in New South Wales. But on the inside, down the back chute, they race side by side. We appear to be Ashley Parkinson trying to make his presence felt in his opening qualifying heat for the Murray Valley Standard ASCF Australian Modified Production title. This is the second and last heat in the opening round. Down the back chute they race. Your race leader for Thrifty is Anthony Wilson. Aboard his VR Commodore, supported by Thrifty Car Rentals on the high side. And on the inside is a 57 of Ashley Parkinson, the antenna specialist VR Commodore. Door handle to door handle, they race down the back chute. They are leaving it all behind them at the moment, but not too far. In the distance is the 16 of Paul Sheen. The local driver is putting in a good effort at the moment. Shall I say, Mildura, very resident visitor here to Review Speedway aboard the 84 Falcon. But the antenna specialists, number 57, Ashley Parkinson, doing a great job out in front now. He's got the better of the battle with Wilson, but how much longer will he be able to hold out?
Not sure. That was a very good passing move by Ashley Parkinson down just before the back chute there. I think he's got the measure of this track at the moment with Wilson behind him. And as you say, the Mildura boy, Paul Sheen, almost a resident here, comes across the border. We allow Victorians in quite freely these days in third spot as they sweep around. There's exactly 6 laps to go. I shouldn't say it. So far, a good clean race, and for the first 3 spots, that's the best Australian modified production racing you're going to see for quite some time, opening up a big lead on the rest of the field.
Yeah, have a look at Parkinson continuing to lead the way, all the way from Rosedale in Victoria is Parkinson's. We have a look through 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, nose to tail. Do we see Wilson get a little bit out of shape as he ran along the back straight? You can see the dust coming up, track very slick now through turn 3 and 4. It's caught a couple of drivers out, and with 4 laps left on the counter when they cross the stripe, you suggest to the 57 of Parkinson he'd be just trying to maintain a very consistent line there at the moment, as we see a spinner in the number 16 of Sheen. Sheen has spun out of contention. Bit of deja vu there. We've seen a couple of cars get caught out. Help him pop down to the pit office and have a chat with the guys and girls down there. They'll be able to put you in contact with him.
I reckon it'd be worth a slab of beer.
Or a bit more at this point in time as we look at the 57 of Ashley Parkinson, your race leader out in front. Through 1 and 2, but right on his rear bumper continues to be Anthony Wilson for Thrifty Car Rentals. But elevated up into 3rd position now is Andrew Whittaker from Brisbane. Then the XE Falcon, supported by Sun State Gearbox and Diff. He has benefited from the Paul Sheen spin, and now up into 3rd position with the front 2 going at it, Hammer and Tongs.
Absolutely. Have a look at this. I mean, every heat tonight has been a great event. Car 57 out in front with Ashley Parkinson from Anthony Wilson. There's still plenty of competition there. Car 22, I think, is not looking all that well at the back, but let's get back to the sharp end of the field. As they sweep through turn 4, there's going to be a white flag this time around. There's that car comes infield and holding everybody up, but down the back, 1 and 2 is pretty well, I think, in the record books at the moment for event 6 in the modified production title.
Yep, so the victory goes to the 57 car of Ashley Parkinson. He takes the win. 2nd across the line will go to the 5 of Wilson, and I'd suggest 3rd after going to the back of the bus. A great drive from Paul Sheen.
Yep, Jordan, Brian Hayden, Ray Clifton, and also Peter Dowling in that car 11, ready to go racing. This is event 7 on your program, heat 7, the Australian Modifieds.
Yes, the Australian Modified production title, what we're here for this weekend, brought to you by the Murray Valley Standard. We watch the number 11 car of Peter Dowling make his presence felt at the back of the pack. Also, keep your eye out for the 26 car, the Cortina of Steve Jordan, to make his way through the pack. At the moment, he's still caught at the back of the bus, the current New South Wales, Queensland, and also Victorian champion. But out in front is the 44 car of Greg Atkins, the 93 Commodore. Showing the way at the moment, chasing him down is a hungry pack of drivers. Karen Thompson is the best of the rest at the moment, sitting in 2nd place, but here comes Andrew Wirch in the Centura. For those Centura fans out there, we have a spinner further back in the pack as well, though. Yes, top 5. But at the moment, they're all chasing the Atkins Mobile, the 44 car, the Commodore, supported by Shane Wilson Race Engines. We've got cars going all direction at the restart here, as we have got our race leader Atkins runs down the back chute. Yellow lights are on, and the Centura pilot in the 32 car of Andrew Arich. As we have a look on the inside, Peter Dowling, 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Who will come out in 2nd place? It will be Dowling in the number 11, AU Falcon. Can they all make it through this slick spot? We see Atkins going a little bit higher than the rest of the pack. That's going to cost him some track time. As it does so, we have a look at Dowling on the inside. And right on the inside of him is also Andrew Arich. And through 3 and 4, your race leader is about to change. Door panel to door panel they go, and your new race leader, after starting at near the back of the bus, Peter Dowling, showing supremacy at the moment, your new race leader.
Peter Dowling certainly doing nothing wrong there, and this heat, I think, Lee, is probably closer than a lot. We've had another one come to grief in turn number 4 there. I think they should put out one of those yellows.
In this final heat race of round number 1, so just over 2 kilometres remaining. Your race leader is Peter Dowling aboard the Falcon. For those Ford fans out there, Let's cheer him in, because he is the race leader. Second place is the 44 car of Greg Atkins, the early race leader. Then comes the Centura of the 32 of Andrew Urch. But have a look at the Mildurian, the Sunraysia pilot, number 18 of David Smith. Another Falcon trying to make his presence felt, but here comes the Cortina of Steve Jordan. Forget the fact that it's a Cortina, folks. It may be over 20 years old, but certainly it's one of the fastest modified productions around in the country. He is doing a great job. He's a current New South Wales, Queensland and Victorian champion. Jason Rigby has a spin through turn 3 and 4. He hopefully will get a fight up before these cars get around. Not to be. So Jordan, that doesn't play into his hands at all. As we're about to go green this time around, and the 11 car of Dowling puts the pedal to the metal out of turn number 4. He gets a 2 to 3 car length jump over the second place Atkins, running into turn number 1 down the back straight already past the Richards auto sign. Your race leader is none other than the 11 car of Dowling. Very fast last night in practice, showing he's continued that speed here tonight. But look out for Steve Jordan further back in the pack, currently battling for third position, and on the inside of Greg Atkins. Down the back chute he races. Got some trouble further back in the pack. One of the cars is coming to a halt. Looks like it could be the 28 of Stephen Downs, who is out of commission. But have a look at the pace shown by our race leader, Peter Dowling, past the Murray Valley Standard sign on the back straight into turn number 3. Running that mid-track line to perfection at the moment is the number 11 car of Peter Dowling.
Absolutely. You're talking to the guys in the pits from Peter Dowling's team. In fact, they had this still on the dyno last night at Leicester's Automotive and Dyno at Horsham. It was one sick puppy, and have a look at it tonight. Coming through, I think turn 4 has claimed another couple of victims. Yellow light.
Yeah, well, that was the second and third placed runners who were caught up there. That was the Centura, the 32 of Andrew.
The new track record.
Yeah, so this will be interesting. Last night we seen some circulations in sort of the high 1595 from Jason Jolly, and also the 21 car of Greg Whirling. So this will be very interesting to see. Of course, they're not at race pace when they come onto the main straight. As we watch our race leader, the 11 of Dowling, negotiates turns 1 and 2. Bit of a argy-bargy further back in the pack between David Smith and also the 45 of Karen Thompson. As the checker flag is being waved, the yellows will come on very shortly, because we see another spinner in turn number 3.
I don't think that counts.
No, the checker flag is out, and the victory will go to the 11 car of Peter Dowling, who will take the win coming through turn 3 and 4. Had some H2O. Hopefully these drivers will adapt to these conditions very quickly indeed. After a little bit of a slick spot through there, 3 and 4. But from the outside, front row is the number 6 of Bucks Allen, who gets the jump. But have a look at Oliver on the extreme high side. He goes into the race lead, exiting turn number 2 now down the back chute into 3 and 4 they run. These drivers using the V6 power to perfection, and the number 66 of Clinton Oliver races down the back chute. He took over the race lead on the last occasion, and now using the high line, keeping the momentum up. Here's the race leader of Oliver, and we see the 51 car of Dylan Jenkins doing very similar moves at the moment. You can see the two distinct different lines on the racetrack. So the slick line down the bottom, and you can see Dylan Jenkins using the high line, just chasing the dirt up on the mid to high line at the moment for Dylan Jenkins. As our race leader has a bit of a moment coming out of turn number 2, got very sideways, and that's allowed Jenkins to close in at the moment. But how much can he close in? There's only 4 circulations left remaining. Oliver holding strong at the moment. He knows that Jenkins will be coming, and coming he is the number 51 polar Dylan Jenkins. Through 3 and 4 they run. Oliver pushes a little wide coming out of turn number 4. Tatiara truck and trailer pilot closing in within 3 car lengths at the moment. Has a bit of a moment coming out of turn number 2. Does Jenkins using that high line. He has not got off that high line all race. Now he's trying to keep the momentum up. 2 laps left remaining when they cross the stripe. Jenkins and Oliver at the front row. Jenkins on the high side. Oliver just slides his way up the racetrack, exiting turn number 2. Now Jenkins cuts down low to try and get past our race leader. Not to be at the moment. 1 circulation remaining for Oliver. Lap traffic going to come into play. This will allow Jenkins into the race lead. Oliver got a little bit out of shape as he got up on the curb, and that's all that it took for Jenkins to take the opportunity by the scruff of the neck and take over the race lead. Now onto the victory. The victory goes to the 51 of Dylan Jenkins. Second across the line will go to the 66 of Clinton Oliver. And third to our pollster of John Buckley. So
as we go over the page to event number 9 on the program, the B&R Auto Gas and Exhaust V6 Sprints. And wait for them to come in. Green flag on the inside, starting all this off is car 10, Normie Moore. Behind him, car 19, Brad Turner, getting a little which way through turn number 1 and 2 as the field settles down, sweeping through 4 at the moment. That corner appears to have sorted itself out, as have the runners. Car 74 in Tim Crouch is in 3rd position. We've seen his work before. Have a look at the passing manoeuvre by Crouch, maybe down the back chute as he comes into... No, he's done it. And a little deja vu once again. Yeah, these guys just a little tidy. Yeah, sound exhaust. These are V6 Sprints. They've got to go past the Witch's Hat single file. And I'm not sure whether that, yes, it is going to happen. Green flag as they sweep through car 10 out in front. That's Normie Moore, started on pole position, is still out there at the moment being chased down by Brad Turner. Everything is every which way that it should be as they sweep through turn 4. In 3rd spot, doing the work again, is car 52. In Jamie Jenkins, improving on his position last time round after the restart, but still well back from places 1 and 2 in this event 9.
Yes, the young female pole up there in 3rd in Jamie Jenkins, the younger of the Jenkins family here this weekend, coming through turns 1 and 2, but they're all chasing Norm Moore out in front, showing a clean pair of hills to the 2nd place runner of Brad Turner, who started on the outside front row, so 1 and 2 as they started, but Jenkins, after starting from position 5, is now up into the 3rd place on the racetrack, with just on 3 circulations remaining around the 360 metre. Review Speedway, our race leader, runs along the back chute past the Power FM sign on the back chute into turns number 3 and 4 past the Review Speedway corporate VIP area. Great view from up there, and we hope that the team for the Murray Valley Stand are enjoying their time up there. But along the back chute, extending his race lead is Norm Moore. Absolutely, Kelvin Burns has pulled in during that time. There's exactly 1 lap to go. The white flag is out. Car 19 is in 2nd spot. Brad Turner behind Norm Moore. And then we have a look as they sweep through turn number 3. Just a superb race. Checkered flag from Norm Moore, start to finish, with just that little hiccup. Car 19, Brad Turner. 3rd spot is car 52 in Jamie Jenkins. And then Scott Agars coming through 4th as we saw them. Opening heat. After coming back from a spin, we watch, see what we can do off the front row this time. The Revs build, we are green. And we have a look into turn number 1. Your race leader is Sheen, closely followed by the 46 car of Phil McAuliffe and the 42 car of Gavin Fletcher moving up through the ranks as well. As we see the 77, the local driver of Neil Howard, a little bit further back in the pack. Rod Brady, and also make his presence felt, but riding the wall down the back chute, who was that? It was the 46 of McAuliffe, certainly using all the track and then some. Absolutely, that's a little bit like the Daredevil in the Royal Adelaide show up against the wall of death. Car 40... I think it was 46 there, yeah. 46, Phil McAuliffe getting a little sideways as they come through. But at the sharp end of this whole thing is definitely Paul Sheen holding out everybody at the moment. Then car 42, Kevin Fletcher. And the rest of the pack settling down. We're watching also Fiona Verhoeven in car 76 impressed well. One car around and Fletcher off the track. The 42 car of Gavin Fletcher, the TF Cortina from Queensland, has spun out of commission, trying to get it fired up one more time. The yellows come on, and wait to see if he can move as the yellows come on for Fletcher. But the race leader in Paul Sheen, the restart, Sheen to lead them in. Event 10. And right behind Sheen now is the 46 of Micallef in the VR Commodore. So it's Ford versus Holden at the front. Sheen goes very high, coming out of turn number 4, and that allows the second place runner of Micallef on the outside now. As Sheen goes back to the inside along the back chute. Through turns 3 and 4 they run. Micallef runs high out of turn number 4. That costs him time and allows the number 16 of Sheen to regain the race lead at the very point he lost it on the last circulation. Exiting turn number 2 as we speak, it's Sheen, Micallef, and then just behind them it appears to be, we'll have a look as they exit at turn number 4. There's a 25 car in there of David Go Lightly. He's not going lightly at all. He's going full noise at the moment, coming out of turn number 2, and Neil Howard gives him something to go on for as well. Just push him just a little bit higher as they exit turn number 2. Howard, the local driver, now up into third place is Rod Brady, also looking on the inside of Go Lightly, and Tony McKenzie in there as well.
Just waiting to see which of the announcers would make the deal about the Go Lightly name. He's in more trouble than the early settlers out there.
As is
so is Verhoeven.
Yes.
But everybody keeps each other honest. It's a sort of dodge and bump 'em cars. But let's get back to the serious end of this, and the very serious end is car 16, Paul Sheen, sweeping down through turn number 3 and then 4, and there's not a lot of drive up high. There's just a few marbles up there, I think, if he can stay down on the pole line. Just depends on the way the car is set up. Behind him is car 46 and Phil Micallef, and there is exactly 2 laps to go as they come past the start-finish line. Have a look at the go for 3, mate.
Yeah, the battle for third is on in earnest. We see after going to the back of the bus, Gavin Fletcher from Caboolture in Queensland is now back up in the third position. So he would be absolutely getting sick of passing cars. He had to come to the back in his first heat. He had to go to the back in his second heat. Now with 1 circulation remaining, he's passed all but 2 cars at least once, possibly twice throughout the duration of this event. But take nothing away from the race leader. But Jones Ceramics and Beads aboard his XE Falcon of Paul Sheen takes the Jagger flag. He takes the win, second across the line. The VR Commodore of Phil Micallef. And then we have the 42 of Gavin Fletcher comes home in third. The local boy in the 77 of Neil Howard, his XR6 Falcon, comes home in 4th position. But a great win there. His team in there as well. We look to go green this time around. On the inside is a 55 of Peter Lack, trying to get a good start there, but the yellow lights are on, and we'll have a restart there, JT.
Absolutely. We've got none out of 1 laps at the moment.
We see that Michael Solomon isn't out there either, so he's a scratching.
Yeah.
As the 75 of Shane Mitchell we mentioned earlier, so 8 cars doing battle here. Pole sitter is Graham Earhart. We go green and racing, and Dave Plecker's on the high side. He has showed great pace to finish second in his opening heat, and also we've got in the middle now is Graham Earhart. 3 wide they race through turns number 3 and 4. Race leader Earhart, Lack on the inside of him. Earhart, he wouldn't want to give away too much more, because have a look at this action-packed heat. We've got Whirling, we've got the current Australian champion in Gary Brown, and the 2 Withcott Seedlings drivers in Earhart and Lack at the front of the pack. Earhart on the outside, Lack on the inside. Lack has got the upper hand at the moment. Earhart lets him in there on the turn number 1. Now Whirling is right there as well on the inside of Earhart, the number 21 car in his VR Commodore. So it's a VX Commodore out in front, the VR Commodore in second place. Then we go back to the 35 of Earhart, the VH Commodore, the older of the 3 cars at the front of the pack. And just a little bit further back, we've got the 48 car of Dave Pleckis, and also look out for Gary Brown, just lurking back there in 6th position.
Tell you what, Lee, I've been watching Dave Pleckis in that car 48. He tried to get some drive around about the midline, was going nowhere, but the guy's got attitude as he comes down the back chute there. Still in 4th spot at the moment, but the train that he has to catch up with has left the station, I think, in car 55, quite obviously, Peter Lack. And then behind him is car 21, Greg Worley. Have a look at that. The Seedlings car out there, and they're growing richer by the minute, old mate.
Yeah, well, Whirling is really the meat in the Withcott Seedling sandwich at the moment. He is in the 21 car looking for a way pass. The race leader in Peter Lack as they race down the back chute, nose to tail as they do. Gary Brown hasn't been able to make an impression. He's back there in 5th position at the moment. The race leader, take nothing away from him. He finished 2nd in the New South Wales title, 3rd in the Victorian title, and he finished 2nd in this very event last year, is Peter Lack. He started on pole for the event last year, did Peter Lack, and tonight he's trying to take maximum points into tomorrow night as the yellow lights come on and try and pick up the reason behind the yellow. Standard modified production title for Australia, and the race leader with 5 laps left to go, the 55 of Peter Lack. It's all 5 out in front, and he is showing them how it's done, supported by Withcott Seedlings. Castro is whirling. He has a bit of a spin coming out of turn 2. Did he get a helping hand? I'm not sure there. I was watching the race leaders as I got it right in front of me, and Lack to lead them in. Team owner in Earhart into 2nd place at the moment, but Gary Brown, after saying early in the race he was just sitting back there in 5th, maybe that was the position to be in, just waiting for the opportunity to move on through the pack, gain those valuable points as he looks on the inside of Earhart at the moment, and see if Harvey can hold Brownie out at the moment. 2nd v 3rd at the moment, and just behind them is the 99 car of Andrew Whittaker, but they're all chasing the number 55 of Peter Lack. He is the man on a mission at the moment. The battle for 2nd is where the action is. 3 circulations remaining. It's Harvey versus Brownie. Absolutely. 2nd versus 3rd.
Yeah, we've got the team players out there, 1 and 2, but there's not a lot this guy doesn't know in car 1, quite obviously. Sweeping through Gary Brown, our Australian champion. It just shows you that Peter Lack, if you're talking about the measure, I know that Gary started from position 10. But there's been a couple of restarts since then, so quite obviously a lot of supremacy out there in that car of Peter Lack. Let's have a look at this battle. We got yellow light, a car spun around the Jordan family. Is that caps or cars?
Cars, yeah. Steve Jordan, unfortunately, had a bit of spin, and looks as though the 24 car of Gerald Flood, 1974, as is affectionately known. Black will lead the way, Harvey in 2nd, and Brownie in 3rd, the current Australian champion. 1, 2 and 3 as they sit on the racetrack at the moment. Commodore 1, 2 and 3 as well as we go green. And it's the 55 car of Peter Lack who leads the way through turn number 1. Earhart there in 2nd place, just holding out Brown at the moment. Brown will want to take as many points as possible into the next round of heats, but the checker flag is displayed. 2 starts, 2 wins for the number 55 of Peter Lack. To my eye, it was Brown who got 2nd place, Harvey in the way of Graham Earhart.
There. We'll call them in for you. This is event number 12. It is for the Murray Valley Standard. It is the Australian Modified Production title. It's heat 10. Have a look at that. The real starter on the outside is car 29 in Shane Best by name and nature. Down the back chute underneath the Murray Bridge Passenger Services sign. Sweeping through 3, coming into 4, and he's got that position wrapped up at the moment. But knocking on the door certainly is car 93 in Ray Clifton. Haven't seen much of his work tonight, Lee, but is out there and doing it down the back chute.
No, certainly, as we have a look at Shane Best, Mudhead as is affectionately known, he didn't have the best of runs in his opening heat, and tonight now starting on the outside front row, taking full advantage in the Terry Brown owned number 29 Eastside brakes and bearing his car, but chasing him down he is Ray Clifton in his Falcon for Broom, Exhaust and Auto Centre. So it's Ford 1-2 at the moment, and 3 as well with the 65 of Neville Manstead. And the AU Falcon, who had a great run.
Certainly did. I'd say that he's rolling around like a donut at the moment. Neville Manstead is the boy that you've got to watch, because he put in a good heat race last time round. That car 15 as it is on the body, 65 on the top, but he's being challenged as they sweep through on turn 3. Don't know whether he can hold his line, as we got a challenge in fact for first position as well. 2 and 2.
So we look at Best coming under fire from the 93 of Clifton, and also we see Karen Thompson go past the number 65 car in Neville Manstead there. But the race lead is on in earnest between the 93 car in Ray Clifton. Mudhead Best on his outside. Best will try and cut back through turns number 2. We watch him race down the back straight past the Murray Valley Standard sign into turn number 3. The race leader now is no other than Clifton. Best trying to fight back on the inside, not to be at the moment. He backs off to going into turn number 1. Slots in behind our race leader. 3rd and 4th is still on in earnest between number 45 car, I should say, of Karen Thompson and also Neville Manstead. This race is not over by any means as we look at the battle for the race lead continuing to run nose to tail as they run down the back chute. 93 car in Ray Clifton for Broome Exhaust and Auto Centre continues to lead the way, but Shane Best not let him get out of his sights at all.
Absolutely, we've got 2 pairs here, and in particular we've got that car 65 Neville Manstead coming up against Karen Thompson as they sweep through turn number 3, just spacing out a little. There's going to be 2 laps to go as they come past the start-finish line at the moment. A little more orderly, but it's still far from over. About a lap and a half to go, and we've got a passing manoeuvre down there. I think if they can get up close enough into 2nd position, that is certainly not decided as the white flag comes out. 1 to go in event 12.
Yes, 1 circulation remaining for the race leader of Ray Clifton, and also Shane Best there in 2nd place. Kenny Holdout, the 45 EB Falcon of Karen Thompson, through turn 3 and 4. They run at the moment. Checker flag at the ready. Clifton takes the win in the 93. Then we have Shane Best, followed by Karen Thompson. Then we have the 65 of Neville Manstead, David Smith in there from Mildura, Robert Dart, and the 28 car of Stephen Downs, who had his first heat, took the victory. So can he make it 2 from 2? With Martin Hawson off the outside front row, we go for green. Watch for the 71 pilot, the West Australian champion of Ben Element, to make his presence felt through turn number 2 as they do 3 wide down the back chute. There he comes, adrift for a couple of them, but steering clear of it all is the driver of car number 72, the VK Commodore of Martin Hawson for Warburton's Butchers. He is your race leader, but Element having other ideas of that one at the moment. They race down the back chute into turns number 3. The Western Australian pilot of Element, the XE Falcon, takes over the race lead, relegating Hawson back into 2nd place. So 1 for the Ford fans at the moment. Ford versus Holden out in front. It's Ford holding supreme, and Holden being relegated back into 2nd place as we have a spinner further back in the pack by the looks of it, the 29 car. No, it's not the 29, I should say, 39. Be Alan Marks and Father Gary Jacko, very established driver in his own right. Check about him a little bit in a moment. But Element is your race leader. Puts the pedal to the metal. Neil Watson gets a great start, moving up into 3rd position through turn number 1. David Jacoby in there as well. Martin Hawson is somewhere around the mark. As Jacoby in some sort of trouble through turn number 3. Looks though he's lost his steering of some sort. Flat right rear tyre. Flat right front, I should say.
Makes no difference, ain't going nowhere. Okay, let's get back to the pointy end of this whole deal, and tell you the man who had a great start was Neil Watson, as you called it, at not consolidating on that at the moment, back in 4th position as they sweep through 3 into 4. There's going to be 6 laps to go as they come past the start-finish line. The first one to do that is car 71 in Ben Element from Western Australia, then car 12 after that in Mark Carlin.
Yep, Carlin doing a great job there in 2nd place. Martin Hawson in there in 3rd. Neil Watson trying to move up through the pack, as is Jim Spears and the Ford Falcon, the current South Australian champion, hailing Spears from Rosedale in Victoria. For the race leader of Ben Element, as I said just a moment ago, his father Gary Jacko Element is the only driver to win 5 feature events in 5 different sections of Speedway. One night he drove just about everything he could, including modified super sedans, Formula 500s, I think it was speed cars and sprint cars at the same time as well. So
can't race a bike? What's wrong with the man?
No, well, I think he basically raced everything there was to race and took out everything. So showing some talent of his father at the moment. moment is Ben Element from Bunbury in Western Australia, the current Western Australian champion. He'd dearly love to have the Australian #1 on his roof tomorrow evening, and doing the right way about it at the moment. With a battle for second, we look further back. Horson appears to have got the better of that battle at the moment. He's relegated Mark Carlin back into second. But here comes the hard-charging Jim Spears. He's right on the rear bumper of Carlin as we speak. Quarter of a lap left remaining, though, for our race leader. He has got your checker flag at the ready. And put your hands together for the 71 car of Ben Element, who will take the victory. Second across the line, we go to the 72 of Martin Horson. And third, I believe, was the 12 car. Yes, it was, of Mark Carlin, just ahead.
Valley Standard, your newspaper here in Murray Bridge, and this is your national championship. Let's have a look at what happens as car 2 tries to get around the outside. Getting plenty of drive on this track lead, that's Jason Jolly. Not a lot that Jason doesn't know about this particular form of racing.
Yeah, Jason Jolly doing it. A great move there on the start there was Jason Jolly, but the guy on his inside was the 37 of Travis Jackson, the Mazda RX-7, and he finished second, I think, in his opening heat. Yes, he did there, as they come out of turn number 4. But Jason Jolly, he took out his opening heat, so looking to make maximum points in this one, as is the number 5 car of Anthony Wilson, the Thrifty Car Rental in the VR Commodore down the back shed. It is the number 2 car of Jason Jolly, your race leader. Got a 3-car length further back to the Westcott's Mazda supported 37 pilot of Travis Jackson, camera van in Western Australia, all evenly spread at the moment, but they're all chasing the number 2 of Jason Jolly from McRae Constructions. And he's showing them all how it's done at the moment.
Absolutely. In there is car 5, Anthony Wilson, and the dark horse, of course, is car 11, Peter Dowling, who also has had a great success in Victoria over the years. But have a look at that, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Isn't that a pretty looking Mazda? Too nice to be out here on the dirt track, but certainly up there and running in Travis Jackson. Can he chase down our race leader at the moment in Jolly? There are 6 laps to decide that very question as they head for the back chute.
Yes, through turns 1 and 2 they fly. The number 2 of Jason Jolly from Lismore in New South Wales, northern New South Wales, from McRae Constructions, Farmer Charlie's Lismore Car Bits, ATZ Auto Dismantlers, Pat and Roy Auto Centre, you name it, he's got it on that VR Commodore, and you can see why he's already taken a victory here tonight, and now looking to take maximum points into the 3rd round of heats here from the Murray Valley Standard Australian Modified Production title. Exiting turn number 4, where you can see that Mazda starting to get wound up on the highline as he exits turn number 4 in the way of Travis Jackson. The Westcott's Mazda, he using the momentum to his advantage. At the moment, he's trying to move up on the race leader of Jolly, but at the moment, Jolly, he is holding strong, maybe extending his race lead as they come out of turn number 2 along the back stretch. Jason Jolly, then we have Travis Jackson. We haven't mentioned too much about Anthony Wilson at the moment, number 5 for Thrifty Car Rentals, the VR Commodore. So VR Commodore 1 and 3, Mazda RX-7 2. And then we have the Ford AU Falcon for ICL, car carrying of Peter Dowling in 4th position, just ahead of the 91 of John Purser from Western Australia, another Commodore. So the VR Commodore is very strong. But JT at the moment, strongest of them all, is a Jason Jolly.
Absolutely. Wouldn't be surprised if we gave the old record quite a good nudge this time around. Jolly is sweeping through to take the very deserved checkered flag. That beautifully presented Mazda car 37 in 2nd spot, then car 5. So you have car 37, Travis Jackson, Anthony Wilson, and then the rest of the field sweeps through. Ashley Parkinson did well last time. Brian Galley, Gavin Catley, Ron Watson, Trevor Mills. That's the lineup for you. And they have changed that lineup pretty dramatically, Lee, as they go into turn 1.
Certainly did.
Excuse me.
4 wide on the main straight, if you don't mind, sunshine.
As if never seen that sort of action Oh, modified
Well, here we
Productions.
go. Let's see what we can do this time around. See if we can go 2 by 2 across the stripe. Well, maybe 3 is about right. As the 57 car of Parkinson jumps into the race lead and slices the meat in the sandwich at the moment. Have a look at the 38 car of Tanya Smith making her move through the pack. Now looking on the inside of the 87 car in the way of Alan Irwin and into second place, but the race leader at the moment, we have a look at Ashley Parkinson, the 57, the VR Commodore antenna specialist. He had showed some great pace in the opening event. Unfortunately, he got caught up in someone else's accident, and now he's leading the way, looking to take maximum points. One person who did take maximum points in the opening heat, he is the Kibbles of Casino Rocket Chassis of Tanya Smith there in second place. And also supported by Valvoline is Tanya, but further back behind her, the 73 of Brian Galley holding down third position.
Absolutely, I suggest you keep all sets of eyes on Tanya Smith sweeping through turn 3 and now into 4. There's exactly 8 laps to go. Plenty of distance for Tanya to come up. She's won a heat. There is a spin out yellow light.
The 54 car of Ron Watts, your race leader Parkinson, to bring them in. Tanya Smith in second place. So a bit of argy-bargy even before the start. We look to go green. We're green. And let's see if Parkinson can hold out Smith at the moment. As the 73 car of Brian Galley's got other ideas, but further back on the pack, they're having their own battle, battling for 4th, 5th and 6th, coming through turn number 4. Race leader is the 57 car of Parkinson. Smith looking to the inside. Tanya Smith has really got that pole line down pat. Doesn't move any higher up than mid-track. They go down the back chute. As we look on the outside of Smith now, it's the 73 of Galley in the Commodore, trying to make a way past, but not to be at the moment. Through turns 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 3, and nose to tail, side to side, whichever way you want to look at it, there's nothing between them.
Absolutely. I would suggest that Tanya Smith, if she keeps the discipline on that pole line, eventually gets enough grunt and enough momentum to pull down. I'd say it might do it in the back chute this time. No, just dropping back. And, of course, waiting to knock on the door there is car 73 and Brian Galley as they sweep through. Smith this time trying 4 laps to go down the main straight. Whether she can pull this off and hold it, she's confronted with a very big gate in car 57. Ashley Parkinson parked right across turn 1.
Well, Smith is just waiting for the opportunity. She's not pushing too hard. She's just keeping that pole line, waiting for Parkinson to make a mistake as they go into turn number 1 one more time. 2.5 laps left remaining. They race down the back chute. Parkinson, Smith, and then the third race place together is a Brian Galley at the moment, exiting turn number 4. So let's see what Smith can do this time. As she looks to the inside, as the 57 car of Parkinson still holds strong at the moment for antenna specialist and high port cylinder heads. Smith gives her a little bit of a nudge at the moment through turn 3, nothing at all. As white flag comes out, bit of smoke coming from the back of Parkinson's machine. JT down the back chute they race. We've got Smith on the inside, Parkinson on the high side.
Absolutely. Can she do it? She's had the discipline coming down on that pole line. Is it going to work for her? This is going to be one close race. Have a look at it. Oh, I'd say that Tanya Smith got it.
Oh, suggest from my eye, it appears though Tanya Smith
wow.
takes her second win from as many starts.
Yeah.
Parkinson will take second.
Craig Swanson, Greg Atkins, Bill Orish, Michael Halley, Justin Drew and Brendan Hicks. They are your runners, and this is event 16. It is your national championship.
Yeah, we'll have a look at Brown versus a Bird through turn number 1. Bird holds strong at the moment. Perkins there in third position. Someone checking up there, it appears to be the 14 of Ross Madden, had to forced to check up down the back straight away. Another Victorian in Justin Drew, a little bit out of shape, exiting turn 4. But the race leader is a 79 of Grant Bird from Victoria for Little's Competition Services. It's Falcon 1. Then we have Falcon 2. And looking at the third place runner in the 98 car of Michael Halley, just makes it Falcon 1, 2, 3 for those Ford fans.
Absolutely, and if you saw the start there, Terry Brown was actually run just a little high, and he was checked, just trying to get back now up to our race leader in Grant Bird, knocking on their respective doors literally right at the moment as they sweep down the back chute is, of course, car 69 and Brodie Perkins.
Yep, so we watch through turns 1 and 2, and the 9 of Terry Brown just takes over the race lead. The car that's only 2 meetings old is your new race leader. Gets a little bit to go on with from the 79 of Grant Bird. Then right behind them is the 98 Queenslander from Caboolture for Ford Wreckers of Michael Halley, looking to make it a three-way battle for the race lead. Side by side goes Brown and Bird through turn number 1. Make it 3 wide, says Halley. Let's play ball. Down the back chute, Brown is still holding strong at the moment, only just for the east side bearings and brake supplies pilot, and one car length further back remains the number 79 car of Grant Bird. The Ford Falcon trio out in front. There we go, a little bit further back to one of the Commodores in Craig Swanson, but top 3, JT, nose to tail.
Absolutely. Falcons as they come through, 5 laps to go, and this is good racing. They've been a lot closer, and I think you'll find the car 98 will move up Michael Halley as he comes through. There's a little bit of dust and sludge coming out there. A mistake from car 79 allows Halley through, going very high in fact, Grant Bird. So we've got a race change there. Halley in second position. Now he is out and running on the all-imposing car they come through with 3 laps to go of car 9, and Terry Brown has done this well, got checked at the start, but now can he hold off this challenge from the Interstater?
It's interesting to watch Brown here. He had a bit of smoke coming out of the car in that first heat. Now as the race wears on, you can see that smoke coming back a little bit again as Michael Halley goes up the inside of Brown. Looks at a big look on the inside. Brown just the door exiting turn number 2. As we see Justin Drew on the infield gets a little bit of a lose through turn number 4. But now our race leaders go through that very point. White flag is out. 1 circulation for Terry Brown. He was on the podium at the Murray Bridge Businesses Modified Sedan title a few weeks back now. He is through turns 3 and 4. 1 corner separates him and the checkered flag. Exits turn number 4. Side by side they've come and cross the line.
Whoa.
Appears so the 98 car of Michael Halley.
I'd give it to Halley.
May have just got it. There's a little bit of contact as they exited turn number 4. But Halley was crossed the line narrowly first, just ahead of Brown. And third went to the 79 of Bird, scratching, as Jamie Jenkin leads her brother in Dylan Jenkin across the start line. But it was the 51 of Dylan Jenkin who gets the banner down the back straightaway. So it's Jenkin 1, 2, Crouch 3, then comes Norm Moore in 4th position on this slickening racetrack here at Review Speedway for the Maurik Exhaust Wholesalers V6 Sprints. Jenkin 1 and 2. Crouch getting a little bit crossed up through turn number 4 that time around. So we can see that Dylan Jenkin holding strong at the moment. The 51 Tatiara truck and trailer repairs machine out there in front, just using the highline. You can see that he's got a bit of a gap over his sister in the 52 car, I should say, of Jamie Jenkin there in second place. Jamie using the pole line. As we look at Tim Crouch using the mid-track line, he really needs to get up about a car length further up the track. You can see where our race leader in Dylan Jenkin is running. He's running right above the slick spot. That's exactly where Tim Crouch is running, as is the 52 car of Jamie Jenkin. Coming through 3 and 4, watch him one more time. Race leader, he goes in a little bit higher above mid-track, chasing the dirt up a little bit. The other 3 behind him, I should say, basically spinning their tyres, buzzing their tyres. They come through 3 and 4. As through turn number 2, Jamie Jenkin has a bit of a moment.
Absolutely. Dylan Jenkin has sort of got this wrapped up as finding exactly what you might call the sweet spots on the track out there, Lee. particularly turn through 3 and 4. Car in trouble in turn 3 at the moment. Doesn't hold anybody up though. Checkered flag coming out for Dylan Jenkin, and car 52, then 74, Jamie Jenkin, and of course Tim Crouch. 19, the Ron Burns Blinds V6 Sprints. Let's pick them up for you as they come across the start-finish line. Leading them in is car 13, the very distinctive car of Scott Agars. Didn't do so well last time around. I think came about 4th from memory, but sweeping down the back chute underneath the Dutton sign there. Dutton's Holden, and comes into the main straight. Behind him, car 66, of course, in Clinton Oliver, just holding out car 2, and Greg Bell. Greg Bell absolutely on the pace at the moment, trying to get up there into some sort of passing manoeuvre, but is riding a wheel, manages to get away with that. We're talking lucky Easter break.
Yes, lucky Easter break there for 22, the number 2 car of Greg Bell. It appears they may have bent something in the front end because he was having some handling problems coming out of turn number 2, but that famous Agars name is out in front, and the number 13 of Scott Agars, in fact, is the race leader. Clickety-click 66, Clinton Oliver, holding down second position. So we're going to see that slick spot through turn number 3 and 4, continuing to prevent these guys from moving forward. Oliver and the 19 car of Turner having a great battle there as our race leader has spun coming out of turn number 4.
Most unusual.
It's caught Agars out, and it's Greg Bell, 4 circulations left remaining as they come onto the main straight this time around. The 19 of Turner inherited the race lead after Agar spun in turn number 4. And can he hold on to the victory here in the Ron Burns Blinds V6 Sprint heat? Over half race distance now, the 8-lap duration of the heat race. As Bell looks on the inside of Clinton Oliver, takes over that spot through 1 and 2.
Absolutely most unusual to see Scott Agars make a mistake like that. Must mean that that turn is actually giving everybody a fair little bit of curry out there, but we'll have a track grade after this, I believe. So car 19 out there at the moment, and Brad Turner starting from position 5 in this particular race. Up there and doing it, Scott Agars trying to pull back, but 1 lap to go. White flag out.
Yes, 1 circulation remaining for the 19 car of Brad Turner out in front, making it look easy now after Agars spinning out of contention. But you can put your glasses down. Brad Turner will take the victory. Second across the line to Clinton Oliver. There we have the number 2 of Greg Bell, and followed by Normie Moore.
Of, you might say, gentle and not so gentle hostilities for the Murray Valley Standard, the national modified production title.
Yes, they roar into turn number 1. We see the 45 car of Thompson take on our pole sitter in Brian Gully. But have a look through it all. It is Martin Horson who is trying to thread the eye of the needle down the back straight. Now into second position is Horson, looking to go on the inside of Brian Gully. These two had a great battle in the last event off from memory, and Horson slides his way into the race lead now down the back chute, takes over that position as Martin Horson, your new race leader from Mildura in the VK Commodore, one for the Holden fans at the moment. And now the second place battle is becoming intensified between Alan Maskell and the 73 of Brian Galley.
Absolutely, Maskell did a beautiful passing manoeuvre there on the inside as he was coming through, and car 39 now back into third position.
Yep.
We've got 1, 2 and 3 for you as they come down the back chute. That track just a little slippery, of course, after the water and the track grade, but settling down. Your race leader is, of course, Martin Horson. Done pretty well tonight out there, starting from about position number 4, I believe.
Yep, certainly has, and Horson had a second place finish in his second round of heats. Took out the opening heat race for him, so looking to make it 2 wins from 3 starts. Here's Horson as we have a look at second place in the way of Brian Galley from Victoria. He's steered clear of Alan Maskell, the Sydney sider, And Marsco is starting to come under some pressure from Karen Thompson, along with Fiona Verhoeven in there in 4th and 5th positions respectively. But the race leader down the back chute at the moment, past the Murray Bridge passenger service sign into turn number 3, is making it look easy at the moment, is Martin Horson. He's very comfortable out there in front, basically just over a quarter of a lap between himself and the second place. But the battle for third is not over by any means, with the 45 of Karen Thompson, also Alan Marskel and Fiona Verhoeven putting her hand up for the taking for the third spot on the racetrack.
Absolutely, our race leader is coming up against lap traffic, but as Lee mentioned, has a buffer of some 1/4 of 1 lap of this particular speedway. Just sweeping around the outside. Obviously the track grade has done some good, because they're getting plenty of drive out there, and in any spot they want to do so. Have a look at the battle back here, of course, with Fiona Verhoeven very, very close up against car 39 and Alan Marskel. He was dominant earlier, but slipped back a position or two, and Fiona Verhoeven ready to pounce, as is the white flag very shortly.
Yeah, the white flag about to come out for our race leader, Martin Horson, who's coming through 3 and 4 at the moment, past the corporate VIP area. We welcome all our guests up there this evening, in particular the Murray Valley Standard team. Thanks for support of the Australian Modified Production title, and all the action, of course, being captured here tonight on your mixed speedway videos, as we see Martin Horson take the checker flag. An easy victory for him, 2 wins from 3 starts. Second across the line will go to the 73 of Brian Galley. Then comes Karen Thompson, followed by the 24 of Gerald Flood, and also in there Alan Marskel and Fiona Van Hooven.
Tony McKenzie, Neil Howard, Travis Jackson, Ashley Parkinson, and also Ben Ellerman. I'll call them in for you as we go to event 20. This is officially heat 16. It is your championship, the Australian Modified Production title, and let's have a look what happens. Of course, Peter Dowling taking advantage of that pole position, taking off the cement line, and Jim Spears hot to trot behind him. Just wait for the cars to settle down, keeping themselves honest in a biff and barge down the back chute, sweeping through turn 4. And has that claimed another victim? No, manages to keep it up as the Mazda goes very highly up against the wall, bounces off it, keeps going in the right direction. Oh, have a look at that, leading that car very high up against the wall.
Yes, just having a look down the back straight away. That car was the Trevor Mills machine from Victoria, who got very high down the back straight. But some of the heavy hitters in this one, who mentioned Dowling, not forgetting Jason Jolly there in the number 2 car, sitting now in what is 5th position. Ben Ellerman and Travis Jackson further back in the pack. See if they can make an impression on the race lead, currently held by the number 11 of Peter Dowling in the AU Falcon, supported by ICL car carrying. And team networking is their punchline, and the 51 car of Jim Spears, the current South Australian champion, is right on his rear bumper, and just there to take him Michael Halley from Caboolture in Queensland, making a 3-way battle for the lead. But let's make it 5 ways, says the 4th and 5th placed runners in the way of Ashley Parkinson and also Jason Jolly. So 5-way battle for the race lead. 3 wide for second place at the moment. Who is going to give out in this one? The number 11 car of Dowling saying, boys, fight behind you all you like, because I want to lead this one. He's out in front at the moment. Can see that clear track ahead of him. Out of shape a little bit was Halley exiting turn number 4. And Jolly.
Yeah. Have a look at Jason Jolly, barged his way through, but just lost the position again, just drifting a little high. It allows the Mazda to come through as well, but doesn't quite affect a pass there. The man they got to beat with 5 laps to go. Started on pole position, thought he might be a little hard to beat from there. Peter Dowling, that Ford is very wide as they sweep through turn 2, Lee.
Yeah, it's wider than John Bowers' Cat Falcon used to be as they come through 3 and 4. Change for the race lead, bit of argy-bargy. They come out of turn 4. Parkinson, the antenna specialist, takes over the race lead. We have 1 go infield by the looks of it. Can't quite pick that number up at the moment. Down the back chute they race. The 11 car slotted back into second position. And your new race leader is a 57 of Parkinson. Then we go to the 11 car of Dowling. And the 98 Queenslander, the Falcon of Michael Halley. They have opened up just a little bit of a gap over the fourth place runner, Jason Jollies. We see the 51 car of Jim Spears now make his way back onto the circuit. Fortunately for Spears, he was speared infield a lap or so ago as we watched first, second and third go out of exiting turn number 2. But unfortunately for Michael Halley, he pushed wide coming out of that turn, costing him dearly.
Absolutely, not being able to make any ground on that. It was car 2 though, in fact bouncing up against the wall, not the way to go through that corner. Lost about 2 positions there, just trying to recover now down the back chute. But let's get back to the sharp end of this, the pointy end of it, as we've got the checkered flag. The man who's done this so well, car 57, Ashley Parkinson, car 11, Peter Dowling started from pole, and then third across the line is of course Michael Haley, followed by car 71, I think, Lee.
Ben Element.
Ben Element, going to see. This is event 21 on your program. Heat 17, Steve Jordan should lead them in car 26, which he does so effectively. Car 99 behind them. Have a look at the traffic through turns 1 and 2. They're settling down. That's Andrew Whitaker just coming into second position as the cars sweep through turn 4. They've got 11 laps to go. At this stage, quite a neat contest. Car 35, Graham Earhart, has done reasonably well tonight, back there in third position. And the big mover at the moment has car 3 written on the side of the vehicle for the Holden, but in fact it's 35. That is Graham Earhart, as we were mentioning, sweeping through. Yes. 34 behind them, Neil Watson.
Yeah, Watson's had a good run here this evening, as has Harvey just in front of him, Graham Earhart. And first and second at the moment is Steve Jordan, who has had a terrible run so far this evening in his 1979 Cortina. He's one of the favourites entering this weekend by virtue of Victorian, Queensland and New South Wales champion. Hopefully he can get a good run out of this one. He's leading it by probably a car length or 2 at the moment. But chasing him down is a Queenslander, fellow Queenslander, Andrew Whitaker, supported by Sun State, Gearbox and Diff Centre. Down the back chute they race. It is still Jordan from Whitaker, then comes Earhart and Watson there in 4th place, throwing everything at him at the moment. And that's the one they run for the top 4. Just outside of the top 4 is a Thrifty Car Rentals pilot in the Commodore of Anthony Wilson, all the way from Ballarat.
And Ross Madden, if you saw him in turn 4 last time, we'll watch him again this time, hit the wall, which was one way of actually keeping it back on the track, but fairly dramatic. Yes, you're right. Poor old Steve Jordan has had the luck of the early settlers tonight. Is going absolutely nowhere, but has managed to bring it down. He's just now, I think, lost that first position, trying to hang on that mid-line, making the car pull down back on the pole line. Does so. The guy behind him couldn't effect a pass, Andrew Whitaker.
But have a look at the 34 car of Neil Watson, the Commodore, the VS Commodore, just takes the ball by the horns and jumps into second place through turn 3 and 4. Here's a man on a mission, is the 34 car of Watson, all the way from Horsham, just across the border, I should say, Horsham Auto Wreckers. Here's Neil Watson's been around this track several times this season already, and now right on the rear bumper of the Cortina of the 26 car in Steve Jordan, now looking on the inside. They'll race along the back through past the Murray Bridge Auto Parts sign. Jordan knows he's there. We see that the 34 car does not give in in Watson. He wants to try and take over this race lead and show the fans how it's done out here at Review Speedway. Coming through turn 2 now, first 5 are nose to tail.
Absolutely, this is a race on our hands here. We thought that possibly Jordan had it wrapped up. That's far from the case. There's a white flag to go. 1 lap to contest. Some very valuable points, particularly for Steve Jordan. Wants to hold out and get maximum points in this particular heat. Sweeps down into 3. Can he hold on? I think he's got the momentum. He goes a little high, but he's going to take it. Steve Jordan from car 34 in Neil Watson, then car 99, Andrew Whitaker. Good heat, Lee.
Yeah, very good. Hey, a great run there for Steve Jordan, taking the win, the 26 car ahead of Neil Watson, closely followed by Andrew Whitaker, then Count Harvey. Come around for a start now, the 94 car of Robert Uren to lead them in. have a look on their high side. It's the 49 of Darren Allen, who looks to make it 3 or 4 wide. The big charger at the start was Greg Whirling, already into second place after starting deep in the pack. Bit of argy-bargy further back there. Looks like one of the drivers involved is the 25 car, which is none other than, of course, is it the 25? Yeah, it is the 25 car out there. If David will go lightly, he is trying to make his presence felt further back in the pack. But the race leader continues to be Robert Uren. We have that David go lightly, have a bit of a spin through. It's right in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Tries. The race leader is Robert Uren, who will lead them in, but right on his rear bumper is the 21 of Greg Whirling, looking for a way past the outside. Also there is Jason Rigby and the 49 car of Darren Allen. Watch for Peter Lack to make his moves through the pack as well, but on the outside it is Whirling who takes over the race lead, coming out of turn number 4 in the number 21 Holden VR Commodore, showing the field how it's done at the moment. Just went to the high side there of Uren and said, okay, you want to stay at the low side, I'm going the high side. And have a look at Lack in the number 55 VX Commodore. He is doing exactly the same move, but he's trying to get past the 49 car of Darren Allen, the AU Falcon of Allen. Now he goes to the inside of Allen down the back chute, takes over that spot. So the Withcott Ceilings machine making his moves through the pack as we expect. Now up into second position. The 21 car though is what they're chasing. The Rocket Race Cars Australia, supported by Energy Release Products of Greg Whirling. He's showing the way.
Certainly after he got around the slower cars there, opened up almost a quarter of a lap lead, which is quite a distance in a heat lap for a national championship. Behind him, Peter Lack, doing such a great job, performed well pretty consistently tonight in all of the heats. There's 5 laps to go. We'll sweep back to our third place getter just at the moment in car 49 in Darren Allen, being chased down by the opposite number 94, Robert Uren. Started on pole position. Uren's had a moment there in turn number 2, loses 1 spot in this heat for the national championship.
Yes, but the race leader continues to be the Energy Release supported Rocket Chassis, number 21 of Greg Whirling. He's got just under a quarter lap lead, but as we see that, Peter Lack certainly closing on our race leader. He knows he'll probably run out of laps to be able to catch our race leader, but this will give him a good indication of where he sits compared to number 21 of Whirling. As they race down the back chute, running order is Whirling, then comes Lack, followed by Allen, Jacoby, Uren, Rigby, and further back behind that appears we have the 32 car of Andrew Arroch, but the white flag about to come out for our race leader in the 21 of Greg Whirling. White flag, 360 metres remaining for our race leader, certainly being closed by our second place runner, the Withcott Ceilings pilot of Peter Lack. Through 3 and 4 runs our race leader. Checker flag is out. Put your hand together for the 21 of Greg Whirling, who will take the victory. Second will go to Lack. Then a fair distance back to Darren Allen there in third place, I should say, of the Australian Modified Production action. Wherever you look here, Best versus Smith on the front row. Also in there is Brown. And who is going to win out down the back chute? It will be Best at the moment. Shane Best is your race leader. So Old Mudhead holding supreme at the moment. And the 18 car of David Smith from Mildura slots back into second position. And then we have Grant Bird in third.
Absolutely. I tell you what, Shane Best taking advantage of that pole start there. Sweeps down, there's 10 laps to go. Reasonably tight. He's sort of racing at the moment. Behind him, car 18, then 79. That's David Smith. Grant Bird locked in there, challenging him at the moment. Terry Brown, always a strong charger. Have a look at that, just down, sweep through in turn 3. On the inside, there's a car going into the wall in a fashion that is not recommended in this particular form of racing.
Now that was Phil McAleff who took a right, not a left. going through turn number 4. But Mudhead, Shane Best is your race leader in the second of the Terry Brown cars. Of course, that's the older of the two. Terry Brown's got the new car, and the car that Shane is driving is actually for sale. So if you're looking for a good modified sedan, Best is out in front. Mudhead doing it supreme at the moment. Can it be a 1-2 for the East Side Bearings and Brake Suppliers team? It is at the moment, because Brown's just found his way in his second place, relegating Smith back into third. Then comes the 79 car in there of Grant Bird in fourth, followed by the 41 of Craig Swanson and Justin Drew in there also. But the man they're all chasing, he started on pole position, taking full advantage of it at the moment, is Shane Best, a former street stock driver, also a very experienced modified sedan driver as well, second generation racer, and had the opportunity to join with Terry Brown late this season, and doing him justice at the moment with the East Side Brakes and Bearings Suppliers team going 1-2 at the moment, 5 circulations remaining. Heat number 19 of the Australian Modified Seduction title.
Absolutely, there's only one colour out there, 1 and 2, and it's a very persuasive piece of work out there by Terry Brown, trying to get up to the teammate in the same team, actually making up some ground. There's going to be 3 laps to go as they come past the start-finish line, and hard to recover from that one as they look back to car 18, of course, David Smith.
Yep, from Mildura. So South Australians 1-2 at the moment. There's the 29 car of Shane Best leading the way, so it's Falcon 1-2.
Car 41 seen better days in the right-hand front position.
Yeah, a bit of close contact further back in the pack as well. White flag is out though. Have a look at this. They just want to plan this for the photographers out there. We can see Ray Ritter about to get a good shot of the East Side Brakes and Bearing Suppliers team. Now they come past Jeff Sutton down there at 3 and 4, side by side. Perfect PR work from Terry Brown and Shane Best. They'll cross the line side by side. Best just, I would say, Shane Best just got the better of his team owner in Terry Brown.
Irwin are certainly in there. This is Heat 20 on your program. Just 2 more to go. This one, once again, 12 laps. So they come in Australian number 1, Gary Brown, obviously taking some particular delight in that car 38 in there. Tanya Smith performed very well tonight, but just doesn't have it in a straight line down the back chute as they sweep through turns 3 and 4. Car 1 is your race leader, as you would expect. Behind them is car 48. Dave Pleckus also done pretty well tonight, Lee, as a couple of the cars keeping themselves honest down
honest?
in turn 2.
Is that the word for it? Honest? Okay.
I think just good luck.
Yeah, well, Gary Brown is definitely the race leader. A 48 car of Pleckus. Not letting him get him out of his sights at the moment, as we have a look at the third place runner in the 62 car of Gavin Catley is there in third, but Tanya Smith trying to move through the pack as well, sitting there in 5th position, and she's had a couple of great runs there in the opening 2 heats, and now back in 4th position. Coming through turn number 4, the current Australian champ, the defending champion of Gary Brown. He has got probably 1 car length on a Dave Pleckus as they come out of turn number 2, past the Power FM sign, into turn 3, past the McDonald Murray Bridge pit gates, and doing it easy out there for Aussie Trackwear supporter VR Commodore of Gary Brown, as Pleckus throwing everything he's got at our race leader of Brown. 3 and 4 is where the action is, very spread out there at the moment. Bit of a procession out there. We can see Brown starting to pull clear of Pleckus. Third place is the 62 of Gavin Catley from Simpson in Victoria, supported by Trevor Lee's Camperdown Auto Sales. The XF Falcon is flying the Ford flag out there at the moment, but they're all chasing the numero uno Holden Commodore of Gary Brown.
Absolutely. I thought that Dave Pleckus was in some sort of position to make a challenge, but just dropped back now, sweeping through turn 4, making up just a little ground, going back then to our 3rd place getter at the moment in car 62 is Gavin Catley. And right at the back, not quite sure what happened to her, is Tanya Smith. Pretty well had a moment in turn 2. Hasn't really recovered from that because has performed superbly out here tonight.
Yeah, so have a look at second place runner though. Plekas is slowed coming out of turn number 2. So that's cost him dearly, and he's just rolling around for the points at the moment as he...
Looks like a front flat, I would say.
Yeah, front right, you suggest?
Can't quite see.
We'll wait till he comes around. Definitely dipping down in the front right-hand corner. He doesn't want to pull in. Oh, JT, you've called it perfectly on the main straight here for Dave Plekas. If he doesn't want to pull in and go to the inside as our race leader goes to the high side of Plekas coming through turn number 1 as we have a look at the second place runner in Cately do the very similar thing, but on the inside. Checkered flag is out. Race victory goes to numero uno of Gary Brown. A long way back to the second place runner in Gavin Cately. And third goes to the 38 of Tanya Smith as...
Australian title for the Murray Valley Standard. The Australian Modified Production title as the cars sweep in. Getting a very good jump on the outside is car 56, Graham West. Caught Chris Matthews napping on the start line there as they sweep around through 3 and 4, getting a little churned up, but everybody dealing with it a-okay. You got 56, 91 and 6, Matthews falling back through the field. The car to watch is John Purser in car 91, the yellow and orange car coming down through 4. I think he's going to pounce perhaps next time round. The track is getting just a little bumpy in turn 4, but have a look at that. We got a new race leader, I think, in car 91, sweeping down underneath the Murray Bridge Passenger Services sign and looking for a pass, trying to hold it down. That corner is causing all sorts of trouble for all of the drivers. The first place contest here, Lee, is something to behold as finally car 91 in John Purser sneaks through, and we've got a car with a lot of smoke and hiss and bubble over there. That's car 8.
Marty Rams out and done and dusted. Stick a fork in him for this one. But the 91 of John Purser finally reigns supreme out in front. He has got the better hand over Graham West. So Westy in the old LJ Tirana slots back into second position. And also the 54 car save. Watsy there in third position, coming under severe pressure from Ray Clifton all the way from Broome in Western Australia. As we've got just on half race distance completed now, and it remains to be Shark Bay Fuel and Service Centre Commodore out in front of John Purser. He's got a 3 to 4 car length lead over the 56 of Graham West, spotted by Bendigo Home Tuning in the Tirana. Family supported West. As we look 3rd, 4th, 5th is where the action is going to come from. That is going to be none other than the 54 car of Watsy. And then we also got their Mark Carlin, the Ford Falcon. And just behind them at the moment is Clifton in the number 93 car from Western Australia. So that's action is. We can see Westy dropping back a little bit in second place. He's going to fall back into the clutches of Ron Watts from New South Wales.
Have a look at Carlin.
Carlin coming on strong in the Kermit the Frog machine. The number 12 XF Falcon is coming on very strong at the moment. And a bit of the air conditioning by the looks of it. He lost some panels there in the earlier race. And you can see the low cut door looking on the inside of West. They come through turn number 1. Can he make the pass? The 2 Victorians going at it down the bank chute. 1 circulation when they cross the stripe this time around.
Yeah, have a look at Carlin. It's going to be interesting. White flag out, but the real race is back. A couple of positions there for the second spot as they go through 1 and 2. Great race. Carlin just trying to come down. He's gaining momentum, going to sweep down. Checkered flag out. Very deserved win for car 91. Can Carlin make it? I don't think so. Car 56 and then 12. That's Graham West. Mark Carlin. Good race.
Yep, then we had the 93 car of Ray Clifton, followed by the 54 machine of Ron Watts. And also out there, it looks like the 31 of Steve Price. pace out of turn 4. Push the foot down with the V6 power. The Mitsubishi 6-cylinder under the bonnet. As they exit turn number 2, he continues to lead the way. They sort himself out mid-pack, and they're going to have to do something to sort himself out because Bell has already got a 4 or 5 car length lead over Oliver in second place. Agars holds on to third. Then we go back to the number 4 car of Normie Moore, but watch for the 2 charges from the back of the pack, namely Crouch and Jenkin, and Jenkin by 2 I should say, because Jamie Jenkin won't be left behind at all as she moves up on the rear bumper of Dylan. But we have Agars on the inside of Oliver down the back straight away, takes away second position from Oliver, relegates him back 1 spot, as now Crouch looks on the inside of Normie Moore, as does Jenkin, do very similar. Dylan in the way of Jenkin, and this is going to be one hotly contested race. Crouch to the inside of Oliver in turn number 3. Make sure he doesn't push wide exiting turn 4 against the drive out of 4. Now he moves into third position. Now he's got a clear track in front of him. He's got a car in between himself and Dylan Jenkin. Well, he did have until Jenkin now got past Oliver. Race leader, the number 2 car for BOC Gases in Greg Bell. Then we have the Agars race product supported Scott Agars. But here comes the 2 charges in the way of Tim Crouch and Dylan Jenkin. 10 circulations remaining, JT. This is action-packed V6 sprint racing, and it's going to be exciting down to the wire.
Absolutely. Have a look at the contest coming up between Tim Crouch and Scott Agars. Agars made a very interesting mistake last time in that very corner right there, but Tim Crouch is sort of knocking on the door. I think he's going to do it this time. Does he effect a pass? No. Agars holds him out. He loses momentum, but pulls it back again. This time he's going to make it stick as he sweeps through 3 and 4 underneath Agars, relegating him back to third position. That leaves us with car 2 coming up against some lap traffic there. That's Greg Bell, an exemplary race, and no reason why he shouldn't pull it off. Let's have a look. The next question, of course, can car 74, Tim Crouch, catch the flying Bell at the moment?
Oh, Bell has got the race lead, a very handy race lead at the moment. He's coming up to lap traffic in the way of the 15 of Brendan Baliga. He is gone to the outside of Baliga. Now Crouch coming up onto the inside of Baliga, trying to make the pass exiting turn number 2. Can't make the pass at the moment. Now he goes on the inside. Bearing in mind the points from tonight carry over to tomorrow night's racing here on the feature race, so they want to make sure they continue with the points chase for the Mike Schultz V6 sprint feature tomorrow night. But the race leader is a number 2 for BOC Gases, a Greg Bell, coming out of turn number 4 as we speak. 3 circulations on the Review Speedway remaining. It is Bell, Crouch, Dylan Jenkin. Then comes Scott Agars, Jamie Jenkin, and the number 10 car in there also of Norm Moore. The race leader exiting turn 4 one more time. Over Greg Bell, he started from pole position. Hasn't really been challenged for the duration in this event. 15 laps. It's gone from flag to flag at the moment. White flag is the one that's coming out now. Can he hold on? In the Bell is your race leader. Crosses the stripe. Gets a bit of out of shape coming through turn 1. That allows Crouch to close in within a couple of car lengths. Down the back chute they run. Bell versus Crouch. Who will win as they come through the slick spot in turn number 3 and 4. Checker flag is out. Greg Bell takes a victory. 74 car of Crouch for second, then comes Dylan Jenkin, Scott Agars, then the 52 car of Jamie Jenkin, followed by Norm Moore, and further back in the pack we have the 4 car of Normie Moore. Oh, we have a rollover, a big rollover on the main straight. Greg Bell.
Didn't see that at all.
It looked as though he came up on the back of the number 6 car of Michael Bucks Allen, and unfortunately went end over end. Kids, you can make sure you stay back from the fence there, folks. You stay back from the fence. And
great result. And there is a time for that, by the way, as they just check on Greg Bell. The time for that, 3 minutes 39.2. Outside, hell of a way to